Welcome. Tonight we're pulling back the velvet curtain to reveal Hollywood's golden age, where the real drama happened off-screen. This is the countdown of the 14 biggest jerks in classic Hollywood. Icons whose egos, cruelty and chaos left a trail of wreckage behind the glamour. Number 14. Errol Flynn, the swashbuckler whose on-screen charisma and daring swordplay made him a legend of Hollywood's golden age. With his devil-may-care attitude and rakish good looks, Flynn became the face of adventure, starring in films like The Adventures of Robin Hood and Captain Blood. But behind the scenes, his real-life escapades were even more notorious than his cinematic ones. Off-screen, Flynn's life was a whirlwind of controversy and scandal. He was a magnet for gossip columnists, with his name constantly splashed across the front pages of Hollywood's most salacious tabloids. Rumors of wild behavior, affairs, and brushes with the law followed him everywhere he went. Flynn's lavish home was infamous throughout Los Angeles. It was the site of legendary parties that drew the city's elite, filled with flowing champagne, secret passageways, and hidden peepholes that hinted at the debauchery within. His yacht, the Zaka, was another playground for the rich and reckless, hosting wild gatherings far from prying eyes. On set, Flynn's reputation was equally infamous. He often arrived late, sometimes drunk and rarely prepared, but his undeniable star power meant directors and producers looked the other way. He treated film sets as his personal domain, bending the rules and testing the patience of everyone around him. In 1942, Flynn's wild lifestyle caught up with him when he was put on trial for statutory rape. The courtroom drama captivated the nation, with crowds gathering outside and newspapers reporting every lurid detail. Though he was acquitted, the scandal left a permanent stain on his reputation, and whispers about his behavior never truly faded. Yet, despite, or perhaps because of, his many transgressions, Flynn remained magnetic. He bulldozed through rules and people alike, wielding his charm like a weapon. Friends and foes alike were drawn to his larger-than-life persona, unable to resist his dangerous allure. Errol Flynn wasn't just playing a rogue on the silver screen, he embodied one in real life. His reckless spirit and disregard for convention made him a true Hollywood terror, a devil in disguise whose legend endures to this day. Number 13. Joan Crawford, the perfectionist whose control bordered on tyranny. She ruled sets with an iron fist, demanding freezing temperatures and punishing the smallest mistakes. Her legendary feuds and vindictive power plays made her feared and isolated. Crawford's icy will built her legend and her reputation as one of Hollywood's most domineering jerks. Number 12. Bette Davis, the Queen of Confrontation. Davis turned every set into a battlefield, wielding her sharp tongue and brutal honesty. She feuded with co-stars, mocked directors, and openly challenged studio heads. Her refusal to compromise made her a rebel and a nightmare to work with. Davis believed talent excused cruelty, creating an atmosphere of tension and fear. She was brilliant, but her methods were ruthless. Number 11. Frank Sinatra, the legendary crooner whose voice could melt hearts, but whose temper could freeze a room. Sinatra was more than just a singer. He was a force of nature, a man whose presence demanded attention and respect wherever he went. Sinatra demanded absolute loyalty from everyone in his orbit. If you crossed him, even in the smallest way, you risked his wrath. Whether you were a journalist asking the wrong question, a colleague who stepped out of line, or even a waiter who didn't serve him fast enough. He was known for lashing out, sometimes with words, sometimes with more. Sinatra cultivated an aura of menace that extended far beyond the stage. Whispers of mob connections followed him throughout his career, and he never shied away from the rumors. In fact, he seemed to relish the idea that he was untouchable, surrounded by a loyal crew who would do anything for him. His relationships, especially with women, were as dramatic as his performances. The public watched as his romances played out in headlines and heated arguments, most famously with Ava Gardner. Sinatra's love life was a storm, passionate, unpredictable, and always in the spotlight. Sinatra's charisma was undeniable, drawing people in with his charm and talent. But beneath that smooth exterior was a man who could intimidate with a single glare, a word, or even just his reputation. People knew not to cross him. In the end, Frank Sinatra ruled his world with a velvet voice and an iron fist. He was the chairman of the board, but also, unmistakably, the chairman of the Bullies. Number 10. Orson Welles, the boy wonder whose ego matched his genius. Welles clashed with studios, blew budgets and dismissed collaborators as beneath him. He treated actors as props and producers as Philistines, burning bridges everywhere. His arrogance alienated even his closest allies. Welles's brilliance was undeniable, but so was his reputation for being impossible. He left a trail of frustrated colleagues and unfinished masterpieces. Number 9. Judy Garland, a tornado of talent and turmoil. Garland's addictions and anxieties made her unreliable, leaving productions in chaos. Her mood swings and absences cost studios dearly and exhausted her co-stars. While a victim of the system, her behavior wreaked havoc on everyone around her. Garland's pain was real, but so was the damage she caused. Number 8. Marlon Brando, the acting revolutionary who scorned his own craft. Brando refused to memorize lines, disrupted sets, and mocked the process as beneath him. His pranks were cruel, his demands outrageous, and his contempt for Hollywood legendary. He delighted in making co-stars miserable, believing it made for better performances. Brando was a genius, and a master of making life difficult for everyone else. Number 7. Laurence Olivier, the stage titan who looked down on Hollywood. Olivier's condescension toward film and American actors was legendary. He clashed famously with Marilyn Monroe, dismissing her as a distraction. His ego demanded constant deference, and he offered little warmth in return. For many, working with Olivier was more ordeal than honor. Number 6. Katharine Hepburn, the icon of independence and icy disdain. Hepburn's bluntness and aloofness made her unapproachable to most. She dismissed Hollywood's norms and cut down anyone she deemed unworthy. Her brilliance was matched by a reputation for being cold and judgmental. Number 5. Clark Gable, the king of Hollywood with a cruel streak. Gable's womanizing and mean-spirited pranks left scars on colleagues and lovers alike. He used his charm to manipulate and humiliate, expecting royal treatment on and off set. The darkest rumors, including his assault on Loretta Young, cast a permanent shadow. Gable's reign was marked by entitlement and cruelty. Number 4. Ava Gardner, the tempestuous beauty who lived for chaos. Her explosive temper and public outbursts were legendary, especially in her battles with Sinatra. Gardner's disdain for Hollywood's phoniness fueled her rebellious, unpredictable behavior. She clashed with directors, stormed off sets, and left a trail of chaos. Her independence was intoxicating and exhausting for everyone around her. Gardner was a star you survived, not managed. Number 3. Spencer Tracy, the respected actor with a dark private life. Tracy's alcoholism turned him from a charming professional into a volatile, destructive force. He vanished on benders, destroyed hotel rooms, and left productions in turmoil. MGM covered up his addiction, but the emotional damage to those close to him was immense. Tracy was a saint on screen, a sinner in private. Number 2. Tallulah Bankhead, the walking spectacle of chaos. Her outrageous parties, scandalous wit, and disregard for rules made her infamous. On set, she was loud, demanding, and disruptive, exhausting everyone around her. Bankhead broke rules for the thrill, not the cause. She was a force of nature, brilliant, selfish, and unforgettable. Number 1. Bing Crosby, the beloved crooner whose smooth voice and easy charm made him a household name for generations. He was the face of classic American entertainment, a man whose holiday songs and silver screen performances brought joy to millions. But behind the microphone and the dazzling Hollywood lights, there was a much darker story unfolding. Crosby's public persona was warm and inviting, but he harbored a chilling dark side that few suspected during his lifetime. Behind his wholesome image, Crosby was allegedly a cold, emotionally distant, and sometimes abusive father, whose expectations for his children were impossibly high. He demanded absolute perfection from his sons, and when they failed to meet his standards, he punished them with shocking brutality, both physical and psychological. The stories that emerged later painted a picture of a man who ruled his household with fear, not love. His son, Gary Crosby's memoir, Going My Own Way, revealed a childhood marked by constant anxiety, emotional scars, and a longing for approval that never came. The book shattered the myth of the perfect family Crosby projected to the world. In public, Crosby was the epitome of charm and grace, always ready with a smile or a witty remark. But for those who knew him best, this warmth was, for many, a calculated act, masking a rigid, controlling nature that rarely softened behind closed doors. The disconnect between his carefully crafted public image and the reality of his private life is what makes his legacy so disturbing. It's a stark reminder that fame can hide even the deepest flaws. With Crosby, the cruelty was a secret, hidden behind America's favorite smile, a mask that fooled millions for decades. For this monumental hypocrisy and the pain he caused behind the scenes, Bing Crosby tops our list as the crooner of cruelty, a legend whose true story is far more complex than the songs he sang. And there you have it, a tour through the dark hearts of Hollywood's brightest stars. Their brilliance lit up the screen, but their shadows stretched far behind the scenes. The Golden Age's legends were often its greatest cautionary tales. Who did we miss? Let us know in the comments and subscribe for more stories from Hollywood's dark side.